Tuesday.
Happy Toe Talk Tuesday.
Happy Dough Dog Tuesday, my friend. So we are we are literally on opposite sides of the globe right now. You're still in Ecuador, so you're in the southern hemisphere, I'm in the northern hemisphere. So we were talking about uh like other sides, the two sides. So let's dive in. Let's dive in and talk about left versus right and yeah, and the different presentations of the
Yeah.
toes.
Well, I love this. Well, first of all, the easy left and right is external, left is internal. So that's the easy, but there's so many subtleties to that presentation. We know energetically right is masculine, left is feminine. Um, there's these different the giving and the receiving. So there's so many subtleties around that. So one of the things that I find so interesting in our partnership here in Toe Reading Academy is how my biggest problems or the biggest messages or the things that are inconvenient, unsightly, whatever it is, they happen to me on it's been how things have been since we started our business relationship and even talking to each other. And it just seems to be coming more and more into focus, the right and left. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful that we get to experience this as we're sharing this information. And so I'm going to invite you to just take a second to look down at your toes. And I want you to just look at always no judgment, simply observation. But if you had judgment, what's the toe that you're judging right now? Because the truth is, we all have judgment.
So the video froze a little bit, so I just want to circle back and say and repeat what you said. So
Okay.
in our partnership, I tend to be having issues with my left, and you've been having issues with your right. And so when I look down, it's probably not going to surprise you that it's my left communication toe, that second toe that just immediately calls my attention. And it's a little bit more twisted, or I should say, leaning towards the little toe, so leading away from the midline. Uh,
Yeah.
and and this is a presentation that both of my toes, both my communication toes, have in um, my action toe, my middle toe, the middle toe has as well, where it's much thinner at the bottom and then it kind of bulbs out at the top. So it's almost like a hot air balloon shape. And so when I look down, that's the toe. That's like, please massage me. And this speaks to what um kind of where I am in my life, right? As we were saying, like, I think entering middle age, like, I had a lot of issues as a child growing up um, into my teenage years and 20s. All my injuries were right sided, and I'm right handed. But I was a much more sort of outwardly focused, people pleasing, um, you know, external seeking external validation, trying to find the career, being on the path, the shoulds. And when I hit my 40s and was like, screw this, I got to start looking within. Um, yeah, like a lot more injuries, a lot more presentations showing up on the left side. And I think I'm just naturally being pulled now to look at those when I look down. So yes, that's a very long way of saying the second toe on my left foot.
Well, long and educational, because I think that from our experiences, people are going to be able to see things in there. So for me, most of my injuries, with the exception of one, have been on my right side, and I've sustained broken bones, etc., on my right side. And interestingly, my most shameful, and I just laugh, in my human design, I'm shamed to humor, so we're just going to laugh about it. It's actually my communication toe on my right side as well, which twists the opposite way of yours. Like that nail twists a little bit more into my big toe and kind of covers up that channel of leadership that shows up on the right toe. On the left is the channel of intuition. On the right, it's the channel of leadership. And and we'll talk about this in another Toe Talk Tuesday, but I broke my baby toe, my fifth toe on my right foot. So it's a little bruised right now and puffy and doesn't want to sit down on the ground at all. And so I look down and I'm like, oh, my poor right foot. But interestingly, this has been an interesting thing. I actually would have added in my first toe, my big toe, about 5 weeks ago. My nail was just rough on that toe, like it was breaking and kind of separating from the skin. And that's my life path toe. And I kept wondering what's going on with this, my life path toe. I'm happy with my business. I feel good about where we're going, et cetera, et cetera. You know what's interesting is since I chose to be in Ecuador for 5 weeks, so the longest I've ever been away from, like ongoing, uh, but that toe started to improve. Now, in my astrology, you can see that long distance travel is where I'll find my fortune, and fortune meaning all, the auspicious things. Ninth house is the house of long distance travel. So this ties into my astro toe reading, but my toe, that one is significantly better now
Your
that
life
I'm.
path's like, I got this. And now the trust is like, are we sure?
Are we sure? Do we need to break some of the patterns of the generations and the past, etc.? So we'll talk about that little toe, but these subtle differences between right and left are really good for this, the contemplation, the look, the deep questions of ourselves, because we are a sovereign being in this collective. And so that internal work, the left side, and then how we are in the outside world, right foot, there are these subtle differences. So looking at that is going to influence the reflective, contemplative questions that we ask with the help of the massage, which is not required. Remember, for years, I read toes and it was all like hands off. But that massage changed things so exponentially, so much faster with that physical attention. So as I'm massaging my second toe on my right and you're massaging your second toe on your left, we might have similar questions, but it's in the presentation of those. So your questions are going to be about that internal communication. Where where is deeper communication with myself, in what areas? Because I mean there's an infinite number of areas of communication. So where can that, um how can I be more intentional with those questions? Where yours impacts your channel of intuition, how can I trust my intuition more? How can I, or what, where can I go to learn, or what is the message that this toe is sharing with me about my internal landscape at this time? Whereas for me, the questions that I'm asking are, what do I need to communicate that's inside already, but to the outside world? Where is that? how am I looking to the past? Because my toe is going to the past, your toe is going to the future. And I just love that we've got these opposite, if you will, presentations. Okay, what am I protecting myself from in the past that's keeping me from communicating? But then looking at it in this holistic way, in what are our other toes also communicating? So, and I know we're going to talk about some of these in other Toe Talk Tuesdays, but I can't look at my second toe without ignoring the trauma of breaking my fifth toe.
Yeah.
Like it's all connected.
Well, and I think that's the beautiful thing, right? Is that, and it speaks to what you're saying about being an individual in the collective. Like each toe is an individual in the collective. So as we're doing the massage on one particular toe or reflecting on one particular toe, it's going to bring up things that are connected to the other ones. Um, and that's part of the journey and part of the path. And I love what you were saying, because the questions that I've been sitting with have really been, and especially with that sort of bulbous shape that I was talking about, knowing that there's sort of energy blocked in the like more in the present, right? That at the tip of the toe, and sort of a strangling of that communication at the base of my childhood. And so I've really been sitting with like this need to have conversations with my younger self, to have, right, to connect with my inner child. Um, and I'll share briefly, like in doing this recently, just the other day, I had this massive anger come up, like my inner child just being like, F you, like you are not speaking for us. You are not, like you are continuing the patterns that we promised, right? And so all of these things that that are coming up, where like the inner child still really has a lot that she wasn't allowed to say when I was when she was in charge. That's now coming out and directed at me. So that's part of another question that I think um, it comes up when you're doing this work as well, is you know, especially on the left side, like what do I need, what's happening to like interiorly to those other versions of myself that existed before today, that I need to communicate with. And same on the right side, right? Like what was what was I communicating in the past outside that maybe I need to change now, in releasing and heal, release and let go of. So
Love that.
I love
I
toe
love,
reading.
I love, well, just the questions, the contemplation, and the personal development work that can be done simply by looking at one's toes,
Yeah.
simply by observing. And I want to reiterate the value of the contemplation with the toes. Your toes are sharing a message with you. They are. So sitting with them, contemplating with them, and simply asking, if you don't know what that toe is sharing with you, sit with it and ask it. Pay attention to what's dropping in. Our entire body system, as we know, is a tool for our soul to this physical vehicle that we are in is the means through which our soul is experiencing. And so, yeah, we left messages for ourselves. It's right there.
I love it. I love it. Well, go out and enjoy those conversations with your toes.
And let us know in the comments, what are the messages that your toes have shared with you?
Yeah.
And how are you being different because of that?
I love that. And and if you're new to toe reading too, just even starting with that simple question of which foot is calling you, right? Like, or and which toe is calling you when you look down at your feet, like the very first question Christina asked me at the beginning. Um, Are you being pulled towards your right, pulled towards your left? How does knowing that the left is internal and the right is external resonate with you, and where you are? So lots of
Great question.
contemplation.
Love it. Can't wait to read your comments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.